Hi, I'm Jamie Dana from Elevate Counseling, a counseling private practice in Glendale, Arizona, and my team and I help teens and adults shift their thinking and find more enjoyment in life. I wanted to jump on here today and continue my post-series about sleep. And today we're going to talk about media and electronics and how this can negatively impact our sleep cycles. So the first thing that I want to say is that they can literally impact our sleep cycles because the screens emit a blue light, which is similar to the light that we get from the sun. That signals to the body that it's daytime. So that daylight that comes through the phone, that signals to our body not to produce sleep hormones like melatonin. And so what we want to do is most devices these days, you can actually go into settings and you can adjust the light so that, like on my phone at a certain time every night, it will automatically adjust so that the blue light no longer is emitted from the phone. And that is good because it allows my body to not be reactive to my screen and start to produce that melatonin at the appropriate time in the evening so that I'm ready to go to sleep when it's bedtime. The other ways that our phones and media can impact our sleep are things like the fact that they occupy our thoughts, right? So we live in a time that's a 24-hour news cycle. We have constant pings on our phones. We're alerted to emails that may be coming through. We have social media that is coming through. And so all of these are activators for our brain. And so if we have our phones on as we're falling asleep or in the middle of the night, we start to get alerts on our phone. It's kind of like being in a restaurant where you may not be paying attention to other people's conversation, and then you hear your name, and all of a sudden you're alerted to the fact that somebody else has your name or you've heard your name. And so it's the same way with our phones. We're attuned to whatever dings and pings and alerts and phone rings that we have on our phones. And so even if you're in a sleep, if something goes off while you're sleeping, you can come out of those sleep cycles, and it can be very difficult to get back into those sleep cycles. So keeping your phones out of your room, keeping the lights off, the blue light off of the phone, these are things that will help to make it easier to be able to fall asleep and stay asleep. Also, the other thing with our phones that can be problematic is if we're hearing things or receiving troubling news, whether it's a world event or maybe it's an email coming through from your boss about something that needs to happen the next day, or an email from a teacher about something that relates to your child. These kinds of things can be anxiety provoking, and if you were thinking about these things right before you go to sleep, then that's going to impact your ruminations or the thoughts that you have as you're falling asleep. It keeps you from being able to be nice and calm as you're going to sleep. So by limiting that and looking at it maybe in the morning when you're in a better mental place to be able to handle whatever those things are, that's going to make it easier for you to be able to take the appropriate steps. When you think about your teenagers and sleep, getting the phones out of the room is also good because they can tend to be more impulsive in the middle of the night. They may make decisions that seems like a good idea at the time, but then by the light of day could cause more problems for them. They could be anxiety provoking or create social issues for them at school when they go to school. And so limiting that so that that doesn't become problematic is also a wise thing to do as a parent. If you want more tips like this regarding sleep, look for my next post in the series, which is going to be on how food and exercise impacts our sleep patterns. And if you want more tips and tricks, you can sign up for our weekly newsletter, which is at elevatecounselingaz.com or on our Facebook page. We have a 5-day Anxiety Buster e-course available, and you'll also periodically see me here as well. Until next time, keep doing, keep being, and keep growing. Thanks.